2020ಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಿಕ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸಿ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ಗಿವನ್ ಇನ್ ಮಿಯಾಸಿಸ್ ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ ರೀಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ರೀಕಾಂಬಿನೇಸ್ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದು ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸನ್ನು ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಎ ಕ್ರಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್, ಬಿ ಇಂಟರ್ಕೈನಸಿಸ್, ಸಿ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಎ ಇಸ್ ದ ಒನ್, ಕ್ರಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು recombinase. Next ನೋಡಿ, in the given below diagram, identify the part which connects the peripheral microtubules to the central sheath. ಇದು peripheral ಅಲ್ವಾ? So to this particular central sheath ಏನಿದೆ, which are the one that are actually connecting ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, you can see that the particular this is the central tubule ಆಯಿತಾ, ಇದು central sheath ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. And you can see that is actually connected with the help of radial spoke. So central microtubule, radial spoke, plasma membrane, interdoublet bridges. Interdoublet bridges are actually connecting the two different microtubules together. So radial spoke is the correct option, B. Next nodi, in C4 plants, C4 cycle takes place in A. companion cells, B. bundle sheath cells, C. mesophyll cells, and D. bulliform cells. It is actually in the mesophyll cells the C4 pathway or cycle takes place. Next nodi, a girl after attaining sexual maturity shows the development of a growing ovarian follicle, development of mammary glands, and also high pitch of voice. The particular change, these changes are attributed to which hormone anta ide? A. progesterone, B. androgens, and C. melatonin, and D. estrogen. Actually, progesterone is the pregnancy hormone. Though it is synthesized, it is not actually contributing in the development of secondary sex organs. Androgen ಮತ್ತು ಎಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಸ್ ಇನ್ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ LH ಆರ್ ದ ಒನ್ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಡಿ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊಪಗ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್, ಎಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರನ್ನು ಏನಂತೀವಿ ಅಂತ? ಎ ರೈಸೋಮ್, ಬಿ ರನ್ನರ್, ಸಿ bulbil, and D offset. Actually offset, you can actually see this is actually connected, or it is the vegetative propagule when it comes to a cornea. So D is the correct option. Question nodi, identify the mismatch anta. A. synergids diploid, primary endosperm nucleus triploid, C. antipodal cell haploid, D. zygote, that is diploid. Zygote is diploid, correct. Antipodal cell haploid, that is correct. Primary endosperm nucleus triploid, true. Synergids are haploid, illi diploid anta kottidare, so A is the correct one. It's a mismatch. Next nodi, identify the correct order of events in pollen pistil interaction from the options given below. A. release of male gametes into the embryo. Second one, deposition of pollen grains on stigma. Third one, entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac. Fourth one, development of pollen tube. And the fifth one, entry of pollen tube into the ovule anta ide. You can see the first one is deposition alva, deposition of pollen grains on the stigma. So illi second is the first sequence alli ide, in the third one, and the fourth one you can see. Next one, entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac, development of pollen tube. So fourth one, next event is, okay, both you can see, and entry of pollen tube into the ovule, okay, and entry, you can see here, entry of pollen tube into the ovule, entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac, release of male gametes into the embryo sac. So first one, what happens is entry of pollen tube into the ovule agatte alva. Then you can see the entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac, and then it is the release. So D is the correct option. Next nodi, when the fallopian tube is blocked at ampulla region, the ovum fails to move from, see, it is fimbriae, infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. So infundibulum to isthmus, the middle region is ampulla, and ampulla is blocked. So the ovum is not actually moving from isthmus to uterus, infundibulum to isthmus to infundibulum, and ovary to ampulla. It is infundibulum Okay, to isthmus. Next nodi, which of the following characters was not studied by Mendelian in his pea plant experiment? A. Seed shape, B. leaf shape, C. stem height, and D. pod shape. He considered all these, but leaf shape was not considered. So B is the option here. Next nodi, in eukaryotes, the entire base sequence of gene do not appear in mature RNA because ಯಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಮೆಚೂರ್ RNA ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ? A. Transcription in eukaryotes consumes more energy, coding sequences are removed from processing, introns are removed during processing, and D. Some gene sequences are removed by exonucleases. It is introns that are actually removed during the process. That's why entire same sequence will not be seen. Next one is, suppose DNA samples collected for DNA fingerprinting analysis are less rather than required quality or more, what is required is the exact amount and it is lesser than the required quantity. Which of the following technique is helpful to make the sample sufficient for the above analysis ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. C. A. electrophoresis, B. chromatography, C. PCR, and D. DNA probing ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. Polymerase chain reaction is the one that is helping in increasing the number of DNA samples. So C is the correct option. Next nodi, the length of the DNA helix in a typical nucleosome is, in one particular nucleosome histone octamer irutte around which DNA is coiled and which is covering at about 200 base pairs. So correct option eno C, that is 200. Next one nodi, which of the following types of RNA carries amino acids towards ribosome during translation? rRNA, double stranded RNA, tRNA, and mRNA. Transfer RNA, name itself tells you it is the one that is carrying the amino acid towards the ribosome during translation. So C is the correct. Question nodi, injection of antidote against snake bite is an example of A. passive immunity, B. autoimmunity, C. innate immunity, and D. active immunity. See, it is antidote that is actually given and which is immediately acting on it, right? So it is due to the artificial or external it is injected, so it is under passive immunity. Next nodi, certain tumors are called malignant because ಯಾಕೆ malignant ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? A. They are confined to specific location, they invade and damage surrounding tissue, they show contact inhibition, and they are not neoplastic. Actually, they invade and damage the surrounding tissue, only then you can call it as actually it is malignant, alva? So B is the correct option. Next one is, biologistic method is suitable for gene transfer into dash virus, animal cell, bacteria, and plant cell. Biologistic method andre gene gun method aita. In that, the particular particle, be it tungsten or gold, it is coated with a gene of interest and it is triggered against the cell. That cell has to be, it has to be so very strong that it takes up that particular pressure, right? So plant cell is the best example for it. Yakandre plant cell also has got cell wall around it. So D is the correct option. Next nodi, which of the following feature of plants are not helpful in adapting to the desert life? A. presence of sunken stomata, B. absence of trichomes on the leaf surface, C. presence of thick cuticle on the leaf surface, and D. leaf modifies into spines. So leaves modifying into spines, presence of thick cuticle, and presence of sunken stomata will help. Adre absence of trichome hairs on the leaf surface is not under that. So correct option enagatte B. Next question nodi, in the following equation of Verlost-Perl curve, okay, the letter R actually it denotes what? dN by dt equal to Rn into k minus n by k anta ide. A. extrinsic rate of natural increase, B. intrinsic rate of natural increase, C. carrying capacity, and D. population density. It is actually the intrinsic rate of natural increase, so B is the correct option. Next nodi, in RNA interference, the double stranded RNA molecule prevents the dash. A. transcription of mRNA, B. transport of RNA from nucleus to cytoplasm, See, translation of mRNA and de-aminoacylation. It is always the translation of mRNA. mRNA breakdown ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ C is the correct option. Next nodi, the shape of pyramids reflects the growth status of the population, alva. Identify the type of age pyramid represented below for human population. Stable, B declining, and C ascending, and D expanding. Always for the human population, it is considered today, till date it is expanding. So D is the correct option. So these were some of the questions of 2020 children. So entirely ಹೇಳೋದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2020ಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೂ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಓಕೆ, ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಟು actually reach your target in KCET. All the very best. Thank you.